Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go to the recent update from the front lines. Ukraine took quite a lot of the territory recently, and it's been confirmed that we entered Rivnopil and liberated this little village, but this village is kind of important, and little by little we're leveling this hub that was created before by the advancing of the Russian army. Let's check out the timeline. It was yesterday and it is today, so basically we took quite a lot of the ground. If we measure the total distance, it will be 6 kilometers with this gray zone where the fighting still continues. Ukrainian army has several of the advancing vectors in this particular place. So first one towards Priutne, over here we're coming to that village little by little. The Rivnopil direction where Ukrainian army was quite successful, but that attack operation wasn't going for 3 days already. Here the Russian forces basically were jammed between two of the rivers and they were in lack of the supplies, and we used this situation and moved forward. The Makarivka direction, and it is more or less stable for a few days. Also the direction towards the southeast part. Here are no any villages, just the fields and forest lines. However, the last week Ukraine got the advancement in that area as well. Speaking about the other areas on the south, there is no movement for the recent 24 hours. I have a very sad news for me personally. Today my good friend lost his life somewhere in Zaporizhia Oblast. I'll tell you about him at the end of this video. I thought maybe not to record the video today, but anyways, it's my job, that's what I do. I want to share the information about what is happening in Ukraine, even though I'm just destroyed today with that news, the terrible news. As for the Bakhmut, the 3rd Assault Brigade of Ukrainian forces crossed this water channel over here, and now they're in close proximity to Kurdimivka, and probably the next move would be to try to encircle Andriivka together with Klishivka, but we advance from many of the places. And the main thing in this area on the south part is to take Opitne under control. That is how you may half encircle the Bakhmut from the south. But also our guys are moving towards the Bakhmut city in this area and towards Yahidne. President Zelensky visited the front lines today. He confirmed the advancement of Ukrainian army. We are moving forward, but little by little. Those are some of the Russian vehicles that were ambushed on the south part of the front lines, a couple of the tanks and some of the BTRs. The Ukrainian side unfortunately also loses the armored vehicles and tanks. That is why our allies intensified the military aid support for Ukraine. For example, the United States of America will give the military aid for $500 million, more Bradleys, more Strikers, more HIMARS, more Javelins and Stingers. Denmark has already started the pilot training course for Ukrainian pilots. Awesome. Plus they intensified the exchange of the F-16s airplanes on F-35s. It should have happened in 5 years, but now it is happening already, and by 2025 Denmark will have all of the F-35s they needed. By the way, I forgot to tell you about the landing operation of the Ukrainian army. It is still ongoing. From the recent information, we were able to create the hub point for Ukrainian supplies in that area, and will have more and more soldiers coming to fight against Russians. Why it was possible? Because Russia lost many of the equipment, including the thermal cameras and night vision, the other surveillance systems, because of the huge flooding in this area, and many of the Russians were sent from this area to fight in Zaporizhia direction over here, but still some of them left in that place, much less significant forces, so Ukraine used this situation in its favor. But still it is not possible to create the big supply line. The pontoon bridge should be put somewhere here near to Antonovsky Bridge. Basically there are no other ways how to send the heavy armored tanks and infantry vehicles across the river, or maybe some sort of the ferry, but it will be under the constant fire from the Russian aviation and artillery. So it's kind of the tricky situation, and only light armored forces Ukrainian infantry mostly is now doing a fantastic job across the river. So this situation is being confirmed as the active one. The British Defense Minister Ben Wallace says that Storm Shadow plays a great role in this war. Ukraine was able to demolish lots of the Russian supply lines and supply hubs, plus command centers. As for the command centers, we know that Russia lost one of their main generals because of the Storm Shadow rocket attack on the south part of Ukraine. Hopefully, many more countries will join the United Kingdom and will supply more of the long-range cruise missiles or ballistic missiles. I would say that United Kingdom plays a great role for Ukrainian help. It was the first country to supply heavy tanks for Ukrainian army, Challenger 2. After it was Germany, and after it was the United States of America. But still, we are in lack of the Abrams tanks. We should have them during this autumn. Just for you to understand the situation with supplies for the Russian army in Kherson area. So this soldier over here doesn't even has the boots. As it was reported by the Russian military bloggers, it's not the only soldier out there. They were forced to go and fight against the advancing Ukrainian army with their bare naked feet. The situation for the Russian supplies is critical and Ukrainian army continue to advance. Again, more and more Ukrainian officials are saying about the possible explosion of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant reactors. Today there was the address of the Ukrainian police chief. He said of what to do in case of the explosion of the nuclear power plant. This escalation around the nuclear power plant worries me a lot. By the way, today Lavrov said that everything around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is normal, and the statements that Russia is planning to explode the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant are total bullshit. Just to remind you, on 21st of February, 3 days before the Russian full-scale assault on Ukraine, Lavrov said that the probable attack on Ukrainian territory from the Russian side is nothing but the speculation and bullshit. Alright, Putler again with his speech, the address to the Russian people. At the beginning of the speech he said about the rebel forces that tried to get the power in Russia, that tried to spread the chaos. At the end of the speech, he also said that Wagner soldiers are heroes. They were able to stop, and that's it, probably that is why they are heroes. It is understandable that there will be no Wagner army in the Russian Federation any longer as we knew it before. The soldiers of Wagner will have 3 of the choices. Yes, on my Telegram I posted 2 of the choices, but those are in case they want to continue the fight. So if they want to continue the fight for, let's say, Russia, they need to sign the agreement with the Russian official defense ministry. Yeah, not the agreement, but the contract. The other way for them to continue fight is to go to Belarus territory together with Prigozhin. There were some rumors that Wagner is building the new military base somewhere around 200 kilometers away from Ukrainian border. Some of the experts say that Wagners will try to get Kiev under control. No, it will not happen. Well, there is still a small chance that they may try, but in that case they will be just demolished. The last third variant for the Wagner soldiers is to give up the weaponry and just go home to peaceful civilian life, as Putin said. But honestly, I don't think that they will still have the peaceful life after all. I think that little by little Putin will get rid of the Wagner soldiers, at least on the Russian territory. This speech of Putler was so advertised by the Russian TV channels. They say that after this speech they will live in new reality, but here is the standard bullshit. The only news are about the Wagner soldiers. But those were more or less understandable even before his speech. After his speech, Putin met with the chiefs of his force blocks, for example, Rosgard, and also there was the Shoigu somewhere. Probably it was the debriefing after the crazy weekend that they all experienced. Here's the Shoigu. We can see that he is very happy, and basically all of their faces are very happy. As you can see, he hasn't slept 2 of the nights for sure. the other guy. So they're very happy about what, yeah, this phase is just. At the end of this video, I want to say more about my friend. His name was Dmitry. He lost his life today on the southern part of Ukraine. I cannot tell you all of the details because the information is classified and it will not be the proper way for me to tell it to the public. What I can tell you that he was a fantastic guy. We were flying together in the same airline. Sometimes we were flying even together. Yes, we've flown 2 times with Dmitry on Boeing 737. He also was type rated on Boeing 777, the biggest airplane we have in our airline. We were also riding together in the same motorcycle club, Aviators. The motorcycle club was created by enthusiasts from our airline, and there are lots of the pilots in it. My friends, for today I will not open the fundraise to support Dmitry's family. Why I will not do it right now? Because there are many of the things that should be settled. In case we'll need some extra help, I'll let you know. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.